Okay, so I want to talk about like Shabbat, because it's like I feel like it's one of the greatest things that exist on planet Earth, and I'm going to share some words from the teachings of Rabbi Hirsch in his book Horeb, but at the same time I feel like a lot of people who weren't raised religious, that don't know the details of how everything works on Shabbos, kind of can look at it as like a prison or a lack of excitement or lack of fun. So I want to share a few words from learning with my Havrusa about Rabbi Hirsch. But Rabbi Hirsch, he explains the idea that Hashem created the world. He says, let there be, let there be light. They created this whole entire world full of trees and fish and animals and stars and planets, like this humongous universe, a universe we're still finding out about. But everything in the entire universe is subjugated to Hashem's will. Like planets, they move exactly, they follow the halakha for planets. They don't question it. Fish follow the halakha for fish, and every animal, every blade of grass, everything is following exactly what Hashem wants it to do. But Hashem created man at the same time as he created the rest of creation, but he gave man the free will to do whatever he wants, to participate in God's laws or not to participate in God's law. And so that's the beginning of this dichotomy. Creation follows God's law, but Hashem gave us the ability to choose. Now the thing, at the same time as Hashem gave us the ability to choose, he made us, human beings, superior to all of creation. And not only that, he gave us the ability to use the creation that he created, that's subjugated to his laws, in ways to serve us. Like, for example, the earth. We inhabit the earth. We live on earth. We build our houses on the earth. We take animals and we take rocks and we build buildings. We take animals and we use them for food. We use them for clothing. We take plants. We use them for shade. We use them for medicines. So we have this power over all of creation. We can use it to serve our needs. So Hashem, so the thing is, so how does Hashem protect creation from us? Because the thing about free will, you can do great things, or you can destroy yourself. So what protects the planet, right? You got the humanitarians, the people who advocate for animals and plants and all these different things, and it's an interesting idea because people who are against like pollution and air pollution and all these other what do they call it, the thing that was it global
warming.
Global warming. It's this fear of like the planet and how we're not treating it correctly and all these things. But that's built into the Jewish understanding. It's built into the Torah. And so Hashem, Shabbat is the global warming. Shabbat is the solution for global warming. How? Because the fear or the idea is that if man were to forget that God created all of creation and he created man to be responsible for creation, to manage it. Like a CEO manages a company, the individual, the human being, is also there to manage humanity, to manage all of nature, to manage all of God's creation. And how do we manage it? Through God's law. So the way that we remind ourselves about the fact that God created the world and the world is following an order and we're here as stewards, here managing God's creation, God created the 6th day of rest, or 7th day of rest. And what is the 7th day of rest? According to Chazal, is the day that Hashem withdrew his physical work, and as Rabbi Hirsch says, brought an invisible dominion over creation, meaning that Hashem stopped creating, but the world was still physically being built, still being managed and created by God. And so Shabbat, according to Rabbi Hirsch, is there to remind us, renew us, and strengthen us to this responsibility. And so, historically speaking, in the beginning of creation, all the human beings on planet Earth, because of Adam, knew about this 7th day of rest and this responsibility, but somehow it got lost during the time of the Tower of Babel. And the people at the time of the Tower of Babel, they forgot, or their arrogance made them believe that they could be the masters of the universe. So God took that understanding of the seventh day of creation, and he withdrew it from the humans that existed, and he created a nation. And he created a nation where the individuals in the nation had a responsibility, and the nation itself had a responsibility to perform and to execute the idea of Shabbat. Why? One, for the sake of creating a balance in the world, and there's a lot of reasons, a lot of Kabbalistic reasons on why keeping Shabbat helps balance the entire world, but even more important, to be a constant reminder to all of humanity is the fact that we are here to serve the creation that God has created through God's laws. And so the idea of when a person doesn't want to keep Shabbat, what are they saying? The person doesn't keep Shabbat saying, I'm the ruler. I'm the ruler of, God forbid, of all this reality, of this creation. I'm the ruler. He's not saying God is the ruler, because God gave us specific coordinates on exactly how to deal with. It's like you're a babysitter, and you in the family who leaves the baby with you says, hey, feed my baby milk at this time, give it the food and mashed potatoes at this time, put it to sleep at this time. But the parents leave, and you say, you know what? I don't care what the parents say. Maybe I'll feed the baby, maybe I won't, maybe I'll put it to sleep, maybe I won't. But imagine the torture that child is going through, being responsible for you. I mean, being subjugated to your responsibility. That's what creation is. And so God created the Jewish people. The redemption out of Mitzrayim was a redemption not just for the Jewish people, but all of humanity. And Shabbat was put back on the crown, back on the pinnacle for all of humanity to start to acknowledge. When they see a Jewish person walking down the street on Saturday, they're like, why are they doing that? Because they're saying that God is ruling the world. And so the things that I do, that I have power. I have power throughout the week. I could have power over the animals. I have power over nature. I have power over the plant kingdom. I have power over the waters. I could use everything to service me. But on this day, I'm not going to serve myself at all. Everything that I do on Shabbat is there to acknowledge that God has given me the power to use His creation to serve me and to bring pleasure and to bring harmony amongst all the created entities in this world. So the idea I just want to leave everyone with is this idea of keeping Shabbat. It's not a religious obligation, and oh, maybe I should do it, maybe I shouldn't do it. Oh, it's so boring. I feel like I'm in a prison. No, it's separating yourself from arrogance, because God created the world that we live in, and the only way that we can acknowledge it on a weekly basis is by keeping Shabbat.